Yo, okay, yeah, everyone. This is brand spanking new. Oh, do we even have the camera right? We have to flip the camera. We don't know what we're doing. There we go. Had to flip the camera. Alright. Alright, going live on YouTube is very scary only because Alexa, volume down. Way more impactful. Just more people, or not. I don't know. I think potentially this could have a chance of picking up. Uh, just getting me a little bit more followers, a little bit more traction. I already do a lot with IG Live. So this is the sketchbook that I started doing my IG work with, and it got me pretty far. It's nearly complete, and I got some. I don't want to say like throwaway pages, but maybe pages that wouldn't be so important if I maybe had fun with, messed around, and just kind of like finished, and not have it be as important because I don't even know who's going to be watching. So we're just going to go. One of the reasons why I'm going with this is because it just seemed just a little bit more features available. I can go for longer on YouTube versus Instagram. I needed to experiment to know. It's hard for me to. I don't know. It's really hard for me to kind of want to do anything if I haven't tried everything. If that makes any sense. So, this is a story that it goes back quite a few years, but we're going to just work on a couple panels and pages from it. Maybe I'll walk everyone through. Anyone that wants to come in with the chat, sure thing. I'm still going to figure out how all of this works. I still don't know. So a lot of this story, believe it or not, I had blacked out. Like I thought I had really good blocking. So yeah, I just thought I would go in and maybe figure out some of kind of what we were doing with the just color selection, and maybe take advantage of that a little bit. But this is a long time coming, and I still have to go on a run of experimenting and doing work on Twitch versus anything on here. So, but in all, yeah, it just seems to be a lot of fun. Just a ton of fun broadcasting art. I kind of got addicted to it. I like it a lot. We're doing the moon back here, by the way. We're just going to kind of see how that turns out. I already like this better because YouTube, about like you guys can't see, but maybe like right here, is keeping track of my time spent. And I usually have to tell Alexa when I'm on Instagram to set my timer for 1 hour, or kind of like depending on or however long I want to work on the piece for. And that's because yeah, it's sorry. I didn't have anything ready before I sat down. I just kind of did it. But and I kind of like this. I kind of like knowing how much time I'll have to really worry about Alexa reminding me, because were times where I thought I said Alexa, or I did and it didn't take, and then she still announced it's. Alexa and I just have a love-hate relationship. So this one of the things I like to talk about is kind of like the importance of sketchbooks and where we are with things regarding sketchbooks. This sketchbook is mostly focused on one story, okay? One group of characters with like a bunch of ideas for where we can take the ideas and all that. But what happened was, like, life happens, and look, I made a choice. At one time I completely gave up drawing, I gave up artwork. I mean, I gave it up fiercely to pursue graphic design, web design. And we in Philly got a company into Philly and was able to do some proudly, able to do some damage. But like years went by, and essentially, kind of like what happened was that it kind of came back. Like the idea of drawing, the idea of just kind of finishing projects really came back. And this is after just spending years of just toying with some of these concepts, not letting them die, but kind of like just like like keep going. And so life happened for me, happened for my collaborators that I was working on some of these projects with, and like next thing you know, like these people are completely invisible. It's hard for them to even return a text message or like an email. Some of them are completely invisible on social media. I don't know how that's possible, or why you would choose that. But kind of like because they're invisible, they're I think they're just giving up. And everyone knows when I reach out to them, a lot of times it's kind of like work based. Like it might be like, hey, let's finish that project. And I don't know. I think a lot of people just they shun away from that. They just run for the hills, like just like what Iron Maiden said. And I don't know, like, so it's almost like I'm the flag bearer, like I'm the one that's that's maintaining it all, and is actively working to complete these projects, like me. And there's no real financial gain. But what we're working on here is going to potentially lead its way to Kickstarter. Okay, so I got another project. Actually, my high school project is gearing up to be my very first Kickstarter. I haven't really announced or spoke about the name of that project yet or anything regarding it. Mostly because like I just want to get the title in order. I just want to trademark the title, and then at that point I can talk about it. But if you go through my Instagram feed at AKAPAD13, you will definitely see that in progress. Like there's a lot of material out there that I already put out for it, and it's going to have designed. It's a small book. The first one's going to be in ash cane, but it's going to have designed rewards, like real true rewards, stuff that you can kind of get behind and get excited about receiving. And I just think a lot of comic book I never really like the rewards for comic books. I just think most of them they're not thought out. There's no love behind it. It's like a donate enough money and I will draw you into a comic. Yeah, like draw me into a comic I never heard of before. That's just silly. That's lazy. I got things I think people will like, that I think maybe you out there will like. But anyway, yeah, so I'm Pete. I live in Center City, Philadelphia. By day, kind of somewhat of an IT dude, I guess. You can say that. You can say I'm an IT guy. And by night, I'm a master of disaster. And like, speaking of callbacks, and just kind of not letting dead dogs lie. PhillyCon's coming up, and I gotta say, I have to say, I'm going. How about that? Dude, I haven't been to a Philly convention in ages. I'm talking well over 10 years. Maybe, no, maybe 12, 13 years at this point. I have the program for one of them, and I forget the year. Might have been '05, 2005. I think it was a Kubert cover, an Andy Kubert cover. But yeah. So, I think I'm just going to try and do this for about 30 minutes. And I have to learn a little bit more about the process. I'm not really sure of like how to download, because I'm really big on archiving and repurposing everything that I do, with with just kind of like all the social media. Part of my overall like content strategy is to repurpose everything along the way. Is to really milk it and get value out of the time I spend doing something, and also to archive. So I'm already liking this. I'm liking that like a lot of the notes and the ideas are kind of like already figured out. Like I think the beats are there for these pages, and this was such a cool story. I kind of just wanted to tell everyone about it, but this would also have to get trademarked before I even really discuss some of those details. See, I'm not 100%. I don't remember what's happening here, to be 100% honest. I'm not sure if these are his pants or if this is our hero here. But the hero is going to have like this Todd McFarlane. Let me get this out here. This also too. So my drawing table is a disaster. This is going to be on my IG stream, and this was a T-Mobile box, and I think I'm going to draw Gamora and Nebula here. We're going to work on that later tonight. Yeah, so like we kind of have like this Todd McFarlane moment here, where it's just like a shape, and he is roping up. These two characters are friends, but he's roping up his friend to kind of save him because he's under this like spell. We can say that. I'm not going to give away too much by saying that he's under a spell. And the cool thing is though, is a lot of this forced me to really up my game on materials and how I like see things and how quickly I can kind of just go through ideas and complete them. But I will say this, there's just something about doing work this way. We do live in a digital frontier. We are in that digital frontier 120%. No doubting it. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get deeper. And I'm talking about digital artwork. But I don't know. There's just something about practical materials that is just amazing. It's just great. Yeah, so today's big thing too was I finally got myself back on Snapchat, and I was just been struggling. So I'm somewhat addicted to big ideas only. So I only wanted to do Snapchat if I could really get like a theme for it. Just like a daily, kind of like every single day theme, because I want to post every day on the Snap. But kind of do something to where I could incorporate my, like everything. Like my socializing, the 9 to 5, Dallas my cat, like everything. And I kind of came up with the idea of themed days. So today on Snapchat, you can find me on Snapchat, it's AKAPAD. But essentially on Snapchat, it's a day of themes. I'm just announcing what the potential themes could be, like day to day, like previewing them. And it's just fun. It's just so much fun. But I think I kind of stumbled on something that is pretty cool. So follow me on Snapchat, and you can follow me on Instagram too at AKAPAD. 13 on Instagram. So usually on social media networks, I'm going to be AKAPAD. If AKAPAD for whatever reason is not available or is taken, I'm either going to be AKAPAD 13 or AKAPAD 69. So this is just this panel is the one weak spot here. I'm not really sure what's happening with this. I wish I did, but I knew there was a hand here. Like I said, we're not trying to make everything perfect. As I was saying earlier, the purpose of any sketchbook when it comes to driving a story or figuring out like what's happening within the story is really going to be art direction. So you want to get like ideas on what your basic shapes are with the attitude of... Sorry, we're drinking some onward here from the Baileys in my dirty Thanos mug. Look at that, this Thanos mug is just horrible. We're also listening to Beethoven, which is hopefully copyright-free music, because I keep getting copyright strikes now, and which is funny, and I win most of them, but go figure. So what we're doing here is we're just trying to get almost like a like we're trying to work out the instincts of where some of these shapes are, like what the philosophy for the line work, the attitude of the paneling. It's just a lot of stuff. So I'm also checking my... I have multiple phones, so I'm checking one of them as I'm talking to everyone here. So even some of these loose ideas are coming back, even though it's been well over 10 years since I touched upon this. And if there's like one takeaway I just want everyone to have, like one takeaway to kind of gather with all of this, especially with like this very sketchbook here, like what I'm doing, like it's never too late to do, like, finish the job and just like dust off that movie script and or finish that book of poetry. Like go back to your hopes and dreams of when you were younger and complete them. It's euphoric. It's such a wonderful mental exercise, and so many people, they just abandon these amazing ideas that they had at one point. So what I like to say is to hell with it and just do it. Like, again, complete it. Who cares? No one's judging you, no one's really looking, but do it. Make it as best you can and just get it out of your head and move on, and maybe that inspires you to kind of do something else. Like, you don't know how. So that's a great thing. Drawing is, it's like one line leads to the next, and in life it's like inspiration can lead to like anything, and it's just, I don't know, it's too cool. You can do so much today. I mean, look at what I'm doing through my phone. I mean, like I'm kind of just doing this, and at one time, like you had to be a major artist just to broadcast drawing something live. Like you had to be, like you had to be insanely famous. You had to live in New York. You had to be a part of that whole culture, and like you just couldn't do it. There was only a few people in the world that there was space for to have those things at one time, and the hell with it. Like, I'm broadcasting live after my work day, and anybody that wants to see it can. Like, I don't know. That literally gets my jollies off. And if it doesn't for you, then I don't know. I don't understand. And by the way, we're using the absolute cheapest possible materials we can. We're using Crayola markers. So we're going to complete all of this. We're completing this project regardless of participation from the other parties. And when it comes to trademark and copyright, I mean, like, that's a no-brainer. I can just change it all, no big deal. But the work's already figured out, and the work's already good, so, like, okay. You know, like, you choose to participate, or you choose not to. And I don't want to say, it just maybe sounds cynical, but I think we're in an age where people are choosing not to. Let's do some Crayola twistables here, okay? I just want this to be all pink. And twistables are awesome for just laying down quick color. So this is a part of my huge go live rollout. So I spent a big chunk of today, actually in the morning before my day kind of began, essentially mapping out what the real plan of action is with me on social media, on all platforms. Yeah, and always with like YouTube being the focus, and just because like YouTube has the biggest chance of, you know, content getting redistributed, created. Like, I do feel like, I don't care what type of artist you are, you have to be video driven today. Easily, like, you have to be video driven. So YouTube's the main focus, okay? And then it's like Instagram. Oh, there you go. That's my eBay right there. Oh, by the way, I'm also an eBay entrepreneur. So we go here. Perfect. Page ship now. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Yeah, and you have to be just aware of, like, that social media is really not going anywhere. You know, it's better late than never. Like, that's my policy with a lot of this stuff. And developing like a content direction, just like a real idea of what the goals are, like how to execute them, what's really scalable. And look, these things I'm rambling off, I know it's a little bit uncommon for a just like an artist to, like, you know, talk about the scalability of effort and, you know, essentially your company, because you are a company when you do things this way. I know that it's uncommon, but that's the reason why I left drawing. I left drawing so I could learn this stuff. And I wanted to return, and I wanted to kind of return with vengeance, for lack of a better term. And I feel like that's, you know, like, that's almost been my path in like 2017 leading into 2018. It's almost like I've been doing work angry. See, some of this I just like so much. I just want to, like, I just wish some of this was the actual paneling. All right, so we got maybe like 6 minutes to go. We got about maybe 2 more panels right here. Big. So this story too had a set grid. I was working with a very strict grid at one time for this story, and somehow along the way, this story kind of like broke that mold. Okay, I do forget the ideas around why that came to be. I may have got sick, or I just was experimenting, and even amongst myself I said, like, the hell with it. You know, like, even breaking my own set of rules. I'm very passionate. What is this? Alexa, stop. That is creepy music. uh, you know, like, I'm a big advocate on having rules as an artist and building those rules into a creative slash art direction. Mostly it's be classified as a art direction, not creative, because everyone kind of overuses the creative director term anymore. Again, people do not know what that means. They don't know how it applies. They don't know how it applies to their work. But anyway, so the big idea is, like, I think I just got frustrated in working with my own constraints, and then rebelled against myself and did this type of layout. So if I can, when I'm redoing these stories, if I can work in the layout break into this, because I have all the other stories are actually laid out properly, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll just cherry pick the sequences, the paneling here, the way it's stacked and layered, and just put that into the grid. I kind of would not want to do that, strictly because I think so much of this works so well. Yeah, it's weird drawing without music. But Alexa gave us some creepiness, right? We can't deal with that. So everything in this and in this saga here, and I'll call it a saga because, or it's more like an opus. I mean, like, there's so many big ideas in this story that there's so many of them that I'm completely in love with, because they're big ideas, because they swing for the fences. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, it's that. Oh, I completely lost my train of thought there. All right, here we go. We got this. So how excited! I'm so excited to be doing this. A lot of you are probably like, Pete, it's not that exciting. Calm down. Well, I don't know. When you have something in your head for as long as I've had this, and trials and kind of just, nights you wanted to do it and you happen to fall asleep, it builds up. And it's easy to kind of get into your head that it will never get done. Like, you'll never do an IG live, or never do a YouTube live, or never do Twitch live. And I don't know. I'm going to do them all. I'm going to do them all. And I'm going to do them all frequently, consistently, and on a high level. So this character here, he obviously is, like, on a he's like hallucinating. He's on a spell type situation. So a lot of what I like that I'm afraid to back away from is just the way how I define the paneling, which is very Chris Baccello. I can never pronounce his name. Just look up Gen 13 Volume 1 Issue 1 and you'll see the dude's amazing. It's kind of like a good fit for that. They put him on X-Men, and I don't know, not a good fit for X-Men. I think on an editorial sense, maybe on the Deadline sense, I know he's super professional. He kind of like, I think the one book that dude missed out on was like he's got to draw Watchmen or something, like not Watchmen, Swamp Thing. Like he needs to be on Swamp Thing. They put him on Doctor Strange recently, I know that. So see, so you're seeing a great example of this. See, he's under a spell. I like him being tagged pink. I think it works. It's crazy, it's goofy. Kind of makes no sense. But I think visually, I mean, on the context of visually, so we're just going to go even over to the next page, and we're going to make it consistent. Again, this is why we have sketchbooks. This is why sketchbooks are important. Because right here, live on YouTube, everyone able to watch, just watch this. And I'm going to just go right over here with this. So I'm excited. So anyone out there too that follows me on Dream Warriors, that's my podcast, pretty much available everywhere. That's been on hiatus. That's going to get updated tonight for Friday morning. Got a Philly traffic helicopter. Traffic's still backed up at this time. My apologies to anyone stuck in traffic right now. But yeah, so here we go. So there's YouTube. There's ways to donate. I'm on Patreon. We'll be launching Kickstarter soon. Going to be streaming on 3 networks, hopefully, or 3 platforms consistently, for a time being, until that's figured out. Until what's, maybe like the audience will choose one, and one will pop and the other ones won't. Like we'll see, but you gotta put time into each one too. So that's why we're just going to do all 3, and along the way, potential collaborators, friends, family. There's always, experts, just kind of like people that are way more capable and intelligent than myself, tagging along. All of us just kind of, figuring things out. Figuring out this crazy thing called life. Dude, I love this guy being pink now. I'm just sorry. I gotta toot my own horn. I think we did good, fam. What do we got here? Do we have any... Oh, excuse me. Do we have any... right here. That's what I'm looking for. I just did a whole series of Sith drawings on IG Live, and a lot of stars. Did Darth Malgus, who I couldn't even tell you who that guy was at one point, and Darth Raven, and just been obsessed with catching up on who those guys are. So interesting, so much fun. The Star Wars Expanded Universe, it's got to be one of the coolest things ever. So my phone is just blowing up. But all right, everyone. I think we're just going to call it quits right now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining. I'm not really sure what's going to come of all of this. I'm trying to figure everything out. But in the meantime, thank you, and we're out. I'm not even sure how to stop this. I'm just trying to figure out how to stop it. Still recording. Okay. What does this button do? Okay.